Greetings, I'm Ryland Spencer along with Scott Enier. You're watching Issaquah Eagles football on ICTV Channel 21. Tonight we welcome in the Mount Si Wildcats to face off against our Issaquah Eagles. And Scott, what do you look for out of tonight's matchup?
I think we're going to have a hard-fought battle between two pretty strong offenses. Issaquah is going to need to do a good job of getting off the field. Mount Si is going to try and control the clock. I expect it to be explosive, high-scoring game. Hopefully the Eagles come out on top.
Alrighty, well, it's Kinko 3A versus Kinko 4A tonight. We're ready for some football.
Greetings and welcome to scenic Gary Moore Stadium here on the campus of Issaquah High School in Issaquah, Washington. We have the Mount Si Wildcats and the Issaquah Eagles about to kick off. Back to return for the Wildcats. Looks like it's going to be Parker Dumas. And to kick for Issaquah is number 16, senior Jason Schwartz. Mount Si just down the road, about 15 minutes east of here. And we are underway. Ball's caught at about the 10. Returned right up the middle. Looks like brought out to about the 41-yard line where Nick Mitchell, the Oregon State commit, will lead the Mount Si offense, which is coached by head coach Charlie Canoon, a 1981 graduate of the Issaquah Eagles.
Great field position to start the drive for Mount Si.
So it's going to be 1st and 10 at about the 42. Mitchell under center. Offset in the back. Gives up the middle to Evan Johnson. Not much on the opening play of the game.
Interesting way to start the game for the Wildcats, handing off to the fullback. Issaquah's D-line's pretty stout. If they can control the line of scrimmage, it's going to be a good night for the Eagles.
So the gain was about 2 on the play, and that'll bring up 2nd down and 8. And we've got twins to the left. Mitchell again under center, and they shift now. In motion is Jake Smith. The give is around the outside. Looks like Bailey Takis for a gain of about 6 on the play.
These are the situations where Issaquah is going to really need to show its strength. Getting off the field on 3rd down is one of the keys to the game Coach Abila talked about tonight.
That'll bring up 3rd down and about 4 for the Wildcats, who go again under center with twins to the left. They shift again. Mitchell's ready to go. Handoff up the middle. Looks like he might have it. Johnson again. And I think he does have it for a Wildcat 1st down.
I really like the get off of Issaquah, Mount Si's offensive line there. They were able to get off, get push, and that's exactly what you need in those 3rd and short situations.
So they are now inside Eagle territory. Mitchell from the shotgun this time. You got twins to the left, twins to the right. You got 4 wide receiver set here. Snap, Mitchell looking to the right, throws to the right. Downfield, dropped. Hit on the play by number 10, Tommy Nelson for the Eagles.
Great job of Issaquah's defensive line to get pressure. They get Jacob Peterson back this week, who missed last week's game against Interlake. He's one of the better defensive ends in Kinko. He made his presence felt on that play.
It's coming up to 10 minutes now to play in the 1st quarter. Mitchell again with the 4 wide receiver set. Now they shift into a tight end with the twins to the right. Little confusion for the Wildcats. Mitchell takes a snap. Little read play. He keeps the ball, runs, and he's hit and dropped by number 2, Paul O'Neill, a senior wide receiver defensive back for the Eagles.
O'Neill's actually a player who ended up moving up to linebacker spot after spring football.
Now they shift into a tight end with the twins to the right.
Eagles coaching staff's excited about.
That's going to bring up a 3rd and about 8 yards for the Wildcats. And this is one of those situations that Coach Abila talked about.
Also, given the field position, you could be looking at 4-down territory here for Mount Si.
Little tighter formation here. You got 3 backs. Now they're going to shift. Mitchell under center with Johnson, and it looks like Takis in the backfield. Snap, Mitchell, little play action, rolls to the right. Now he's going to take off. He's hit and met, dropped short of the first down by, it looks like, Jeff Shipley, a senior for the Eagles.
Mitchell's a guy who's not considered a dual-threat quarterback, but mobile enough to escape the pocket when need be. We've seen him run now on the last 2 plays.
Looks like Mount Si is going to talk this one over a little bit here. Run the play clock down a little bit, see what they're going to do. It looks like they are going to go for it here on 4th down. It's going to be a 4th and, what is that, about 4 yards, it looks like, for the Wildcats. So they're going to go 2 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. Mitchell under center. Takes the snap. Looks like a little option play. He's going to reverse field, gets a block. Galatly chasing him down, and he's going to bring him down. Big loss on the play is going to give the Eagles the ball in Wildcat territory.
That's a great job by Galatly to stay home on the backside, keep contained, make the play. Great start. Couldn't have asked for a better start for Issaquah. Turnover on downs, and great field position to start their first drive.
So leading the Eagles out offensively is going to be quarterback Jack Neary, a senior who took over about halfway through last season. And he's going to go, they're going to start with 5 wide receivers, empty backfield. Going to be 1st and 10 at about the 49 of Mount Si. Neary drops the throw. He's got him. Reception by senior Derek Chapman. Gain of about 15 on the play.
Chapman is a player who's is very experienced for Issaquah. He's considered by his teammates the fastest player on the team. Could be a real weapon tonight, and Neary's going to have a lot of options to throw to.
Now we're going to go a little bit of a pistol formation with an offset back. 3 wide receivers to the left, 1 to the right. Neary takes, hands to Galatly up the middle. He's got some yardage. And he may have enough for another 1st down, and it looks like he does.
That run is Jack Galatly in a nutshell. He's a powerful guy. He's hard to bring down, and he just chunks yardage. In the first quarter, when he gets yards like this, it's going to wear down Mount Si later in the game.
So 2 plays and 2 first downs for the Eagles. And looks like Neary's going to go under center this time. Galatly and Chapman in the backfield. Chapman goes in motion. Blitz up the middle, and the handoff in there stuffed right in the backfield. Looks like they're going to have a loss of about 1 on the play. Loss of about 2, and it'll bring up a 2nd down and 12 for the Eagles. Just under 8 minutes to play here in the first quarter. No score. Neary in the shotgun with Galatly offset to his right. Neary drops back, looks right. He's got Chapman again, who stays on his feet. He fumbles the ball, and it looks like the Wildcats have it. We're going to see what comes out of this scrum, but the Wildcats look like they have the ball. And they do have the ball. So that'll take over at about the 10-yard line going the other way.
Unfortunate turn of events there for Issaquah. Chapman fighting for those extra yards, and sometimes that's where those balls get poked out.
So Mitchell's going to go back under center now, inside his own 10, on it looks like about the 9-yard line. You got twins to the right with a running back behind him. And we got our first flag of the game. Looks like we're going to have an encroachment on the defense. I believe the nose tackle jumped a little bit there. And in high school football, anytime you move off sides, it's an automatic. There is no getting back. And that's exactly what it was. So that'll bring up a 1st down and 5 for the Wildcats. 7:39 left to play, first quarter. No score. Mitchell's going to go under center. Wide receiver in motion, looks like Bo Shane. Mitchell takes the snap, hands off, up the gut. Looks like Evan Johnson, the senior, taking the ball up the middle for a gain of about 3.
Might be interesting to viewers why Oregon State commit Nick Mitchell doesn't really air it out. One of the things Mount Si likes to do philosophically is use the run to set up the pass. So despite having a high-caliber quarterback like Mitchell, you will see them try to establish the run early in the game.
That was actually Bailey Takis on the run. Pickup of about 2 or 3 yards. It's going to bring up 2nd and 2. Mitchell in the shotgun with Takis to his left. 2 wide receivers left. Mitchell takes the snap. A little play action. Gets it out into the open to Jake Smith, but he doesn't look like he has enough, and that could bring up another 4th down, or that's going to bring up 3rd down after the penalty and 2-yard gain.
Good job of coverage by the Eagles there, not letting a small play turn into something bigger. Sound tackling out of the secondary, and that's exactly what Coach Abila talked about. The secondary's experienced, group full of seniors, and they're playing like it tonight.
That's going to bring up 3rd, and it looks like a long 2 here for the Wildcats. 2 wide receivers to the left. Single back is Bailey Takis. Mitchell under center, drops back, looks right, throws right, and he just overthrows his receiver on the play, and that'll bring up 4th down for the Wildcats.
If you're Issaquah, you've got to be happy with the start to this game defensively. They're going to get another crack at it now on offense. They've moved the ball well. Let's see if they can hold on to it.
The intended receiver on that play was senior Trevor Daniels. Brings up 4th and 2 yards. And it looks like, it appears as though Takis is back. Yes, Takis is back to kick for the Wildcats from about his own 1. A little bit of a wobbly kick. It's fielded by Keegan O'Keefe, and he brings it up to about the 42 of Mount Si, where the Eagles will take over.
Another great start to a drive for Issaquah here. Can't ask for better field position. That's going to be both drives now starting on their side of the field.
Ball spotted on the right hash, about the 44-yard line. And Jack Neary going to bring the Eagles out again in the shotgun formation with Derek Chapman offset to his right. Gallatley in motion. Fakes the handoff, batted at the line, and it looks like it might have been picked off. Nope, incomplete pass. Bo Shane was right there, looked like he had it, but I guess it hit the ground.
You've seen a lot more defensive linemen get their hands up in games now. It's a trend we've kind of seen from the NFL last season with J.J. Watt leading the NFL in passes defended, and you're seeing a lot of high school players go for that now at lower levels.
So that's going to bring up 2nd and 10. Neary in the shotgun with Gallatley to his left. The give is to Gallatley up the middle, and he fumbles. Might have recovered his own fumble. Doesn't look like he did. Might be another turnover for the Eagles. And it is. The ball goes back to the Wildcats at about the 35-yard line.
So early season mistakes. Gallatley's not one who's known for putting the ball on the turf. Big games like this, it's hard to sacrifice this kind of field position. Looking at the replay here, Gallatley gets a good burst through, just doesn't have the ball secured. Mount Si is able to punch it out.
Looked like Evan Johnson with the strip on the play.
Looks like Gallatley had a chance to get his own back, but the Wildcats recover and take over.
So it's going to be 1st and 10 at about the 35-yard line. Mitchell under center. The give is up the middle to Takis. He's got a little room, but not much. Gain of about 4, maybe 5 on the play. That's a little bit of a staple of Charlie Canoon's offense. He likes that single back formation, and he likes to run between the tackles, and later on in the game he hopes that it sets up the pass a little bit for the Wildcats.
Absolutely, and again, with a talented quarterback like Nick Mitchell, giving him every opportunity to be successful by taking the pressure off him with your run game is the way to go.
So 2nd down at about 5. Mitchell drops back, throws to the right. He's got a wide open receiver, and he makes the catch. Looks like it was Trevor Daniels on the reception. for the Wildcats. Big gain and a first down, and now they are inside Issaquah territory.
One thing to remember about the Mount Si receiving core is even though they lost a lot of production off of last year's roster, the young guys, because of how good Mount Si was last year, got a lot of experience. They may not have a lot of starts under their belt, but they're definitely familiar with varsity competition.
So 1st and 10 at the 43 of Issaquah. Evan Johnson in motion. Motions to about a fullback spot. The give is to Johnson up the middle. Gain of about 4 or 5. Keeps his legs moving, and he's got about 8 yards on the play, and that'll set up an easy second down situation.
Looking at Johnson, he just looks like a hard kid to bring down. He's really good in pass protection, helping that offensive line keep Nick Mitchell's jersey clean, and he's getting a little bit of love, getting the ball handed off to him as well.
Yeah, Johnson is a 5'6", 205-pound senior, was one of the star players for the Wildcats last season, especially in their game against Mount Si. He was actually named player of the game. So 35-yard line, Mitchell under center, I formation. The give is to Takis up the middle. He's got a first down and a little more. And we are down inside now, inside the 30 to about the 29 for Takis.
And this is one of the situations that Issaquah didn't want to get in. They wanted to be able to control line of scrimmage and stop the run. Right now, Mount Si's in a position where they're able to just chunk a few yards at a time, getting a great push up front. You see Issaquah defenders on their back, and that's just not going to get it done.
Yeah, another position they did lose some players off of last year's squad is the line, but they do return some good experience. Again, the handoff is to Takis. And again, he gets about 4, maybe 5 yards. And that'll bring up a second and about 4, maybe 5.
As talented as Issaquah's defensive line is, what they do lack is size. They're much better in pass rush situations. They are very quick, but when a team wants to just line up and run it right at you, that's where Issaquah finds himself at a disadvantage up front.
Gain of 6, so it's going to bring up second down and about 4. Just about 4 minutes left in the first quarter of play. No score. Mitchell under center. Looked like a false start, but not called. The give is to Takis up the middle. Keeps those legs moving, and he's got another first down inside the 20 now.
And right now, Mount Si has found something that they like. They're having success running the ball, and there's no need to get away from it. They're picking up a handful of yards at a time. They're in the red zone now. And this is where they like to get their bread buttered.
So it's going to bring up another first down and 10 at about it looks like about the 18-yard line. You're going to have a offset formation here. I formation with Ivan Johnson a little to the left. Mitchell under center. Quick throw to the right where he's got Trevor Daniels, who picks up about 4, maybe 5 on the play, and that'll bring up a second down in mid situation. That's something we saw a lot of last year with Mount Si, where they would throw the ball to a Jimbo Davis, maybe a Hunter Malberg, but this year they've got Trevor Daniels, who's a senior. He did get a lot of playing time last year. Here we're going to have another look at it. Just your simple screen play to a wide receiver. Pick up 4 or 5 yards on the play. Now we're going to have another manageable second down situation. Mitchell, one step, looks to the left. A little early, we're going to have a flag. Might be pass interference on Derek Chapman. We'll have to wait and see.
Again, the secondary is the area where Issaquah felt that they're strongest. It's a group of seniors. There's team captains back there. And they're comfortable with challenging the Oregon State commit, Nick Mitchell. Great coverage there. We'll see if it was a clean play.
It was pass interference on the Eagles. So it's going to be half the distance from the last spot, which will give them a first down and put them inside the 10-yard line at about the 7 of Issaquah. 3 minutes and 21 seconds left. No score. Mitchell with the I-back formation. Give is to Takis. He's up the middle. Not much going on that play. Maybe a gain of about 2.
Definitely not as much of a push for Mount Si up front this time as we've seen earlier in the drive. Issaquah's really trying to strengthen themselves down here with their red zone defense.
Looked like he was brought down on the play by Paul O'Neill and I'm going to say maybe Matt Sarkozy. Yeah, it does look like Matt Sarkozy. That'll set up 2nd and goal just outside the 5-yard line. Single back formation for the Wildcats. Mitchell takes the snap, looks right real quick, and he's going to be brought down. Jacob Peterson returns this week and picks up a sack.
Jacob Peterson, again, all-league Kinko player last year. His pass rush ability is his forte, and you see it right there. Gives the Issaquah defense a nice stop, backs up Mount Si, and now they're in a situation where this could be a tough, if they're able to hold them to a field goal here, it's a small victory.
That's a big loss on the play. That'll bring up 3rd and just over 10 yards for the Wildcats.
Great discipline by Chapman on that play to stay home and not bite on the fake.
We got twins to the right, 1 receiver to the left. Takis is the lone back. Mitchell, 3-step drop, looks. He's got a receiver, he's got a catch, and a touchdown.
Great job by Mitchell finding the hole in the zone right there. That was a tight window for him to get the ball through. He was able to find it, and that's why he's an Oregon State commit.
Jake Smith on the touchdown for the Wildcats. That gives them a 6-point lead with the PAT to come. Kicking this year for the Wildcats this year is senior Sean Loney after All-State and UW kicker Cameron Van Winkle moves on. Kick is up and kick is good. So with 1:55 to play, the Wildcats have a 7-0 lead. That drive was mostly running there, Scott. What did you notice maybe from the Mount Si offense that, Issaquah can look to? What are they going to have to do to stop that powerful running game right now?
Well, if they're not able to keep their defensive line from getting pushed around, they're going to have to use some run blitzes, attack the gaps, make sure that if the defensive line can't get the job done, you're going to have to incorporate the backers in your running game. They've got a good enough secondary where they can do that, and you can sacrifice some of your linebackers from having to be in coverage. But again, the key is if the defensive line can hold the line of scrimmage, they're going to be in much better shape.
And I think that also, in a way, it almost the same idea that Mount Si has going from them right now is almost maybe something that Issaquah needs to get back to, and maybe give the ball to the horse, Jack Gallatley, a little more, just to settle the team down and maybe get them back into the game.
Absolutely. Issaquah's been able to move the ball well. They've unfortunately turned it over twice. What I would do is give Gallatley an early carry or two here, get his confidence back. Doesn't need to do anything spectacular, just secure the football.
So it looks like Derek Chapman on the return brings it out to about the 20, where the Eagles will take over. Actually, it's at about the 30.
Not as good a field position to start this drive as the last two, obviously. But again, for Issaquah, this drive is going to be all about settling down, finding their rhythm again, controlling the clock, getting the game back at their pace.
So the Eagles will come out again with Jack Neary at quarterback.
Neary's a player who took over midway through last year, proven himself to be one of the more underrated quarterbacks in Kinko, a league known for really good quarterback play. This is a big year for him. He's got a talented group of receivers, and this can be a really balanced offense under his leadership.
So we got 3 wide receivers to the right. The fake to Gallatley up the middle. Passes out to Tommy Nelson, who's got some yards, makes a move, and he's out across the 50 and into Wildcat territory for the first down.
Tommy Nelson's a player who's a converted quarterback, moved to the wide receiver position, and is incredibly talented. He spent a lot of time this offseason working with former Washington State wide receiver Mike Bush as his personal receiver coach. He's a player that Issaquah is very excited about, and there's a lot of potential in MVP UW 7-on-7 tourney this summer, which Issaquah won.
So Neary's going to go in a little bit of a pistol formation. Looked like they might have got away with a false start. Gallatley gets the give, is up the middle. He's got a first down and more, keeps his legs moving, and he's got a gain of about 15 and another Issaquah first down.
And that's what Jack Gallatley brings to the table. You're not going to bring him down with one defender. He's going to be able to keep his legs moving, and he's going to wear you down. If he can hold on to the football, it's going to be a long night for Mount Si's defense. We're seeing Issaquah move the ball with ease on all 3 of their possessions. Let's see if they can finish this one off.
So it's going to be first down and 10 from about the 30. Gallatley offset to the right. Little screen play. Out to Chris Eglin. Down the sideline and out of bounds at about the 15-yard line. And it looks like it might be another first down, and it is another first down. Inside about the 20-yard line. 15-yard line, my mistake.
The play looked like it was going to be stopped in the backfield, but he was able to get away from the defender and turn nothing into something and give the Eagles a first down.
Now I formation. Up the middle is Chapman. Rumbles and stumbles for about 8, maybe 9 yards.
Chapman brings a little bit of speed to the backfield. It's a thunder and lightning type backfield when it's him and Gallatley. They're both different kind of backs, and it's a good change of pace.
And we have a timeout on the field. Timeout Mount Si. So you are watching Issaquah Eagles football on ICTV Channel 21. So after Chapman goes up the middle for about 7 yards, that'll bring up second down and 3 from the Mount Si 8 with 42 seconds left in the first quarter. Neary in a bit of a pistol formation, 3 wide receivers to the left. Give it to Gallatley up the middle. Breaks a tackle, spins, and he's in. Touchdown, Issaquah.
It's a great job by Gallatley there getting yards after contact. Nice spin move by Gallatley there. Great second-level blocking by the Issaquah offensive line, and we've got ourselves a ball game.
With the point after attempt, into kick is Jaden Schwartz, a senior. Takes over for Alex Shane, who is the 2-year kicker here for the Eagles. To hold is senior Jeff Shipley. Snap, good. Hold is good. Kick is good. And we got a tie ball game with 36 seconds left in the first quarter.
Great job by Issaquah's offense to respond after 2 turnovers on the first 2 drives. Come back, I believe that was a 70-yard drive for the Eagles. Put it in the end zone and march down the field in 5 plays.
Yeah, and that's a very good answering touchdown after a long Mount Si drive that led to their first score.
I think the key thing, too, is it gives your Issaquah defense a little bit of rest. That was the previous drive for Mount Si was the longest Issaquah's been on the field. They needed to make some adjustments to what Mount Si was able to do. That drive by Issaquah's offense allowed them to do that.
So on the kickoff now is going to be Jason Schwartz. Back to return at their own 5. Looks like Trevor Daniels and Bailey Takis. Schwartz with a pooch kick, or a little dribbler. Taken by, looks like Bo Shane at about his own 31, and he's run out of bounds after a gain of about maybe 3 or 4.
It's a bit of a trend you're seeing in high school football now. If you can't get it in the end zone, you want to keep it out of the hands of returners. You kind of sacrifice the field position and maybe give yourself a chance to recover something if it bounces off a player or the ball doesn't get fielded.
So 31 seconds to play in the first quarter. And Mount Si is going to get the ball at their own 34. On the right hash, with two receivers to the left, Mitchell's going to go under center. Looks like he's got Takis in the backfield. Mitchell with a three-step drop, looks left, a little loft. Not sure who that was intended to. Looked like maybe it was intended for number 9, Parker Dumas.
He had two receivers in the area. It looked like 3 DBs in the area. Mitchell just kind of threw it up into coverage. I will say this, I'm impressed with Nick Mitchell's ability to play under center or play from the gun. You don't see that with a lot of quarterbacks these days. That's going to prepare him for the next level.
Junior Keegan O'Keefe on the coverage for the Eagles. That'll bring up 2nd down and 10. Mitchell again under center with two receivers to his left. Drops back, looks right, throws right, and he's off the mark. Looked like it was intended for Trevor Daniels. Good coverage on the play by number 4, Jeff Shipley.
Interesting to see how Issaquah was able to get Mount Si back into trying to force the ball through the air. Mount Si had success running the ball the last drive, yet they've started this drive with 2 straight passes.
It's going to bring up 3rd and 10. This is a great opportunity for the Eagles to get off the field here. Same formation with 2 to the left. Takis behind Mitchell. Little play action. He's got a rush coming at him. And he's brought down again. Jacob Peterson with the sack.
Peterson's second sack of the night. Again, great job staying home. He's fast off the edge, brings a lot to the table as a pass rusher, and he's making his presence felt with 2 sacks early in this game.
That's going to bring up a long 4th down, and it's actually going to bring us to the end of the first quarter. You're watching Issaquah Eagles football on ICTV, Channel 21. So we're ready for the second quarter of play. After the big sack by Jacob Peterson, it's going to bring up 4th and a very long, looks like about 25. Good kick. Back to receive is number 17, Keegan O'Keefe, and he's smothered on the spot by a couple of Wildcats. Looked like Bo Shane on the tackle.
Very close to getting a block there for Issaquah. Even though there's no return yards here, great field position again to start the drive for the Eagles.
Absolutely. They'll take over at their own, it's about the 49-yard line, just into the second quarter. Tie ball game at 7. And it looks like Neary again is going to lead the Eagles out onto the field. Looks like a shotgun formation. Or actually, Neary's under center, split backs. 2 receivers to his left, 1 to the right. It's a draw up the middle to Galatly. Doesn't go for much. Actually, he's going to have a loss of about 3, maybe 4 on the play. Looks like 3. And bring up a long 2nd down situation.
Yeah, not much push by the Issaquah offensive line there. Find themselves off schedule now with a 2nd and long.
So Drew Cotto on the tackle for the Wildcats. Bring up 2nd, and it looks like about 13. Neary going to go out of the shotgun with Galatly to his right, 2 receivers on each side. Drops back, looks, scrambles a little bit, throws to the right to Chapman. It's off his hands, and it'll bring up a long 3rd down situation for the Eagles.
Good job of feeling the pressure there for Neary as he was nearly sacked. The play action held that rush a little bit, giving him enough time. Incompletion's not what you want, but it's certainly better than taking a sack in that situation.
This is the type of situation you don't want to get into if you're the Eagles, as Mount Si kind of feeds off of it, and they've been known over the years for having a good pass rush. Neary out of the shotgun with Galatly to his right. He's looking left, throws to the left. He's got Tommy Nelson for a 1st down, rumbles a little more, and he's got about a gain of, I'm going to say it's about 15, maybe 16 on the play, and he's brought down by Evan Johnson.
It's a great job by the Issaquah offensive line to give Neary a nice pocket to throw to. Dingfelder and the guys up front doing a great job of giving their quarterback time. Good patience by Neary. Get it into Nelson and get the 1st down.
Brought down by Bailey Tackus on that play. I've heard his name a lot early on. A little give to Gallatley up the middle. Doesn't go for much, and he actually loses 2 yards on the play.
Yeah, not sure what happened there. It looks like he had 3 guys unblocked for Mount Si, and I don't know if it was a miscommunication by the guys up front. Either way, the Issaquah Eagles find themselves in a second long again.
Going to be 2nd and 12. Neary in the shotgun again with Gallatley to his left. 2 wide receivers to his left. Tight end on the line. Fake to Gallatley. Throw right down the middle. And he's got a receiver. It's Jeff Shipley down the middle. And he loses his helmet on the hit from, it appears, Nick Mitchell. Yes, Nick Mitchell going both ways tonight for the Wildcats.
It's a great catch by Shipley in traffic. The senior captain, one of many weapons for the Issaquah offense. Holds on to the ball, loses his helmet, but comes up with the football, and that's more important of the two, giving the Issaquah Eagles what's near a first down.
3rd and short to give us to Gallatley. Doesn't look like he gained anything on the play. Good to even get out of the backfield on that one with the Mount Si rush.
Definitely seems like Mount Si's corrected their run defense a little bit. Issaquah's not having the same success on the ground this drive as they had previous ones.
And he does have a gain of nothing on the play. And it looks like the Eagles are going to go for it here on 4th down and about 1. Neary in the shotgun, got it back to either side. Might be trying to draw him off a little here. See if he can't get the defense to jump and get that automatic first down. Neary's looking to the sideline for a call. And they're going to take a timeout. So with 8:53 left to play in the second quarter, the score is 7-7. You're watching Issaquah Eagles football on ICTV, Channel 21. So it's going to be 4th down for the Eagles. 4th down and a long 1, it looks like.
I like the decision to go for it here. It's a long field goal. You got nothing to lose by going for it. A punt doesn't help you very much.
Chapman goes in motion. The give is to Gallatley up the middle. He's got the first down and more. Stays on his feet, and he's in for a touchdown. 26-yard carry by Jack Gallatley. Puts the Eagles on top. Pending the PAT, it's 13-7.
Great job by Gallatley to break that first tackle, elude a second defender, and do what he does best. Doesn't come down on contact, breaks it for a touchdown. Looks like he broke about 4 tackles there before he found the end zone.
That's great, good, hard running. That's the type of running you usually get out of a Mount Si guy.
Nice job finding the end zone there. Makes that call to go for it on 4th down look pretty smart.
A little confusion here on the PAT. Not sure if the Eagles have enough guys on the field. Regardless, Shipley's going to hold, and we're going to have a penalty. The Eagles tried to sneak a guy on late, and I think they're going to get caught with something here. The kick was up and good. We'll see what the officials are thinking on this one.
Looks like Shea Dingfelder's involved in the conversation there with the referee.
And it is. It's going to be, I believe we'll call it
illegal procedure.
Illegal procedure, yes, thank you. And that'll move the ball back and set up instead of a 20, looks like it's going to be a 25-yard extra point here for Jason Schwartz with Shipley the hold.
Still makeable distance, but not a situation you want to find yourself in.
Snap is good, hold is good, and it's blocked. Blocked by the Wildcats. So that penalty comes back to hurt the Eagles. But with 8:45 left in the first half, it's Issaquah 13 and Mount Si 7. Jason Schwartz is going to line up again to kick off for the Eagles. Let's see if they do another one of their little squib kicks. It is another squib kick. Ball bounces high. It's fielded, and smartly the Wildcat recipient drops down at about the 37-yard line.
It'll be interesting to see what Mount Si does this drive. They had success running the ball early on. They got away from it their last possession. It's something they should go back to, reestablish their dominance at the line of scrimmage, find themselves an offensive rhythm this possession.
So it's going to be 1st and 10 for the Wildcats on the left hash, about the 38-yard line. Nick Mitchell under center. With an I formation, Evan Johnson and Bailey Takis in the backfield. Mitchell, the give is to Takis. He's walloped by a host of Eagle defenders. There's a flag on the play. We'll see what this call is. It came from the umpire.
Looked like Jacob Peterson was one of the defenders in the backfield there for Issaquah.
Usually in the position of a hold. We'll see what they got. I don't know how you get a hold when everybody ran right by. It actually looks like it's going to be on the Eagles. Look like maybe a face mask. Regardless, it's going to give them first down and about, it's going to be about 7 yards. Mitchell's going to go under center again. Takis, Johnson offset in the backfield. One receiver on each side. Mitchell, play action, little roll to his right. Now he's going to scramble to his left. He's got a wide open field. Mitchell cross the 50, run out of bounds. They're going to mark it at the 50. Run out of bounds on the play by Cody Lamarck. Cody Lamarck. My apologies to Cody, a senior linebacker for the Eagles.
Lamarck is actually their most experienced linebacker. He's the only guy in the group that saw playing time significantly at the varsity level last season.
So it's going to be first down, 10 for the Wildcats. Another I formation. Johnson behind Mitchell. Takis behind that. The give is to Takis. Got a couple of pulling linemen on the play. My type of football, gets it between the tackles and looks like he's got a gain of about 7, maybe 8 yards on the play.
Seems like their coaches listen to us over on the Mount Si sidelines, getting back to the run. I really like what Takis brings to the table. Obviously, we're calling his name a lot tonight. He's a very versatile player. He runs hard. Just that Mount Si type running back that you've seen so often.
That's going to bring up 2nd down and 4 for the Wildcats. Just about 7.5 minutes left to play in the second. Mitchell, 3-step drop. Looking around, buys a little time. Overthrow. Good coverage on the play by Derek Chapman for the Eagles. Pass intended for Trevor Daniels on the play. That'll bring up a 3rd and 4.
3rd and 4 is a great situation to be in if you're an offense. You can pass the ball short. It's short enough where you still have options available to you in the run game. Puts a lot of pressure on the defense when you can't be in a predictable down and distance situation.
It's going to be a single back formation for the Wildcats. 2 receivers to the left. Takis in the backfield. Mitchell trying to get the Eagles to jump. The give is to Takis up the middle. Looks like he might have it. I believe he does have just about enough. Let's see if they're going to measure. Going to be spotted right at the 40-yard line. Referees are going to talk it over a little bit, and it looks like they're going to call for a measurement here.
Chains look to be right at the 40. I think if you're Mount Si, regardless of what the measurement shows here, it's a situation where you probably would go for it. Certainly 4-down territory. They haven't shied away from it early in the game for either team, and I don't see that they would start to now.
Yeah, with the way they've run the ball early, I would expect them to go for it. This 4th and less than 1 is something that they should be able to get. And the measurement is just a little short, so it is going to bring up 4th down. And what we'll say is inches. And it looks like they are going to go for it here. Mitchell's going to come out with Takis in the back. Johnson's going to lead him. Oh, looked like we might have got a false start there. Let's see what the referee says. And it is. It's a false start. Bad, bad, bad for the Mount Si Wildcats.
Yeah, really unfortunate discipline by the Mount Si offensive line. But if you're an Issaquah Eagle, that's exactly what you love to see.
Now it looks like the Wildcats are now going to turn into a punt situation where Bailey Takis, again, will drop back to punt, standing at about his own 41. Deep is Keegan O'Keefe at about his 10-yard line. Takis runs a little to the right. High punt. Hits down at about the 22-yard line. Bounces inside the 20 where the Wildcats will fall on it at about the 19-yard line, it looks like.
Unfortunate stall to the drive there from Mount Si. They were moving the ball relatively well, aided by a penalty, and ended up shooting themselves in their own foot with the false start penalty. Issaquah takes over, has a chance to continue some of the momentum they gained, both from the stop on that series and the score on the previous one for them offensively.
So the Eagles are going to take over at their own, looks like the 20-yard line. 6 minutes and 52 seconds left in the second quarter, with Issaquah leading 13-7. Trips formation to the left. Gallatley in the backfield, offset from Neary. Neary takes the snap, looks left, throws to Shipley, but it's broken up by linebacker Evan Johnson.
That's the one thing you'd like to see Issaquah do a better job of, is gaining yards on first down. They find themselves off schedule. Last series, they lost yards on a couple first downs. Here you get the incompletion, and you find yourself in 2nd and 10.
And with that 2nd and 10, you'll again have trips to the left of Neary, with Gallatley again to his left. Gallatley takes the snap. Neary takes a snap. Give us to Gallatley. He's got a lane. He's got some room. He's at the 40. He's crossed his midfield and inside the 50-yard line. Dropped down at about the 47, 48-yard line of Mount Si.
It's basically Jack Neary telling me that I don't know what I'm talking about. He doesn't mind second and longs. Looked like he was going to be bottled up in the backfield there, and does a great job breaking it to the outside. Nice spin move, eluded defender, and he has such a great balance of power and speed for his size and his build.
So it's going to be 1st and 10 at the 48-yard line of Mount Si. Neary pumps to the left, and he's going to be brought down in the backfield. Sack on the play by number 71, Bradley Christensen.
Schlichting along with Christensen are both very difficult defenders to block for for Issaquah. They also
There was a penalty on the play. I didn't see the call. Looked like maybe holding. Regardless, it was a big loss. Let's see if the Wildcats want to accept the penalty or take the yards off the play.
I think in this situation with the sack, I'd rather take the sack and you lose the down, whereas holding gives the Eagles another first down.
And that's exactly what they will do. It's a loss of about 7 on the play. They do decline the penalty. So that will bring up 3rd down and about 17. Or sorry, 2nd down and about 17. The officials are going to have a conversation here. Not really sure what they're talking about. I think they might have been unclear on the spot of the ball, and Charlie Canoon is over there waving his arms as if to say he wants to decline it. I think that's what it was just a little mistake on where the ball was to be spotted. So it's going to bring up 2nd down and 17 for the Eagles. Neary again with Galatly offset to him. And it looks like we're going to have another flag for encroachment. And that's a huge penalty if you're Mount Si.
Yeah, absolutely. 2nd and 12 is a much better situation than 2nd and 17. For Mount Si to give those 5 yards back when Issaquah's had success converting them is not something you want to do.
Galatly fake to Galatly, tosses out into the right flat to Chapman, dancing around a little bit. And he's going to be brought down. Looked like a loss of a couple on the play. They're going to call it no gain.
Yeah, they're going to give him the forward progress there. Looked like he lost a little bit dancing around, and he's fortunate to get no gain out of that situation. 3rd and 12 now for Issaquah.
Not the type of situation you want to get in if you're Issaquah. 3rd and long. 2 receivers either side. Neary steps up, throws, looks like he's got a catch. Then they're going to say no, incomplete. Tommy Nelson couldn't quite reel it in. Good coverage on the play by, looked like Mark Farmer.
I like the play design there by Issaquah, getting Neary out of the pocket, giving him an open throwing lane. Nelson just wasn't able to bring it down in bounds.
Another flag on the play. The referee's talking about it. Let's see what they're going to do here. Talking to the Mount Si sideline, so you would think it's against Issaquah, which I would assume they would decline and make it a 4th down. It's going to be ineligible downfield, and they do decline it. So that will bring up a 4th down and 12 from about midfield. And it appears as though we're going to have an Issaquah punt, where running back Jack Galatly will step back to boom it away.
Galatly kind of does it all, doesn't he?
He's
comes from a long line of Galatly brothers who have come through the Issaquah program. He's the last of them, and he's definitely keeping the legacy alive, being a key player for the Eagles.
Galatly with the punt. Didn't get it very good. Got it off the side of his foot, and it bounces out. They're going to mark it at about the 37-yard line, where the Wildcats will take over with 5:09 left to play in the 2nd quarter, and Issaquah's up 13-7. You're watching Issaquah Eagles football on ICTV Channel 21. So 1st and 10 for the Wildcats at their own 37-yard line. Single back formation. Going to motion Bo Shane to the left side. Mitchell under center. Snap they give is to Takis, and he's bottled up in the backfield. Looked like Connor Smith on the play.
Connor Smith was one of the players that Coach has mentioned to us before the game as a new player for the Issaquah Eagles defensively. They've got the bookends in Deacon and Peterson, but him in the middle and along with, I believe, Tim Rice, were 2 players on the interior that the coaches were very excited about for Issaquah.
So it's going to bring up 2nd down and 13 yards. Motion Bo Shane again. This time Mitchell looks to pass. Throws out to the right side. He's got Trevor Daniels. Daniels makes a couple of moves, and he's brought down at about the 44-yard line, a pickup of about 9.
That's a great job of open field running by Daniels. Made a defender miss in the open field. Another 2 defenders came in, couldn't quite bring him down right away, and that's a play that should have been a 2 or 3 yard gain that he was able to turn into a gain of several yards.
He was brought down on the play by Paul O'Neill, a name we've heard a lot so far in this first half. 3rd down and about 3, I formation. Mitchell under center. Give is to Takis up the middle. Keeps his legs moving, and it looks like he's got it out to midfield for a 1st down.
Through Mount Si, you want to use all the clock that's left and try and tack on a score here before the half. Running the ball and being able to control the clock allows you to do that and call on the passing game when you need it to get the clock stopped.
So we're coming up on 3 minutes to play here in the first half. Ball is at midfield. I formation for the Wildcats. Mitchell gives the ball up the middle to Evan Johnson. Johnson rumbles for about 6, where he's brought down by Connor Smith again.
That's a play we've seen a few times now from Mount Si. They ran it very early in the first quarter on a couple of drives. They like that quick hitter to Johnson. And again, he's a load to bring down. Different body style than Galatly, but very similar runner in the terms of how hard he is to tackle.
Smith was assisted by Matt Sarkozy on the tackle, a junior linebacker for the Eagles. So it's going to bring up 2nd and 4 for the Wildcats. Mitchell to give to Takis up the middle. Going to be close to a 1st down. I don't think he got it.
And it definitely looks like Mount Si is just trying to control this clock. Playing for, you would think, a touchdown, but definitely don't want to get too crazy and not get yourself in a position where you can at least come away with a field goal here.
Looks like a 2-yard gain on the play, maybe 3. Going to be 3rd, and it looks like a long 1.
Definitely 2-down territory here for the Wildcats. I expect them to go to 4th down if they don't get it.
I formation again with Takis behind Johnson. Play action by Mitchell. He's looking downfield, and he's going to be brought down. Sacked on the play by Andrew Deacon.
Andrew Deacon, a lot like Peterson, is just an incredibly difficult player to block on the edge. He's a player that had a huge year last year. You see him here coming off the edge. Fought through the block. Mitchell never felt him coming. And you were able to get the sack. And now Mount Si's forced to punt instead of being in a position where they could have gone for it on 4th down had they not gotten it.
Little mistakes on 3rd down right now are really hurting Mount Si, with Bailey Takis back to punt. Nice boot. Andrew O'Keefe on the return. Brings it out to about the 31, 32-yard line.
Your situation here with 1:15 left in the half, if you're Issaquah, I think you're feeling pretty good about it. I wouldn't force things too hard. You don't want to try and force the ball downfield and put yourself in a position where you give the ball back under any circumstances to Mount Si. With Mitchell at quarterback, they have the potential to score with no matter how much time's left on the clock. If you're Issaquah, I think you just run the ball out. You're happy to get to the halftime, get into the half with the lead. You're going to get the ball first to start the second half.
So Neary's going to take a shotgun snap with Galatly offset to his right. He looks left, hits Tommy Nelson, who lowers his head, might have enough for a 1st down. And it looks like he does have enough for a 1st down. Great play by Tommy Nelson again. So it's going to be 3 wide receivers to the right with Galatly offset to his right. Tommy Nelson to the left. Little fake. Passes out to Chapman. He's got a lane. Makes a move. Brought down at about the Mount Si 41, 42-yard line is where they're going to spot it.
Now
It just looks like they're spotted at the 43.
being on Mount Si side of the field now, getting that clock stopped on the first play where Nelson was able to get out of bounds. Everything's kind of on the table now for Issaquah. You're in a position now where rather than just getting into the half and being happy with the lead, you can push the ball upfield a little bit and go for the score here.
There is a flag on the play. I didn't notice it. We'll see where it is. Looks like it's Issaquah players are walking back. Looks like it's going to be on the Eagles. It's a hold. And that is a stall to a very big opportunity for the Eagles.
I guess I spoke too soon. Now if you're Issaquah, just go ahead and run it out. Let's get into the half. You don't want to give yourselves a position where you back up anymore and give the ball back to Mount Si. Their offense is just too potent where Mitchell can hit something quick.
So we're under a minute now in the second half. Split receivers, 2 to each side. In motion is Shipley. Neary back to pass. Pressured. Tosses to Galatly up underneath, and he's brought down by Evan Johnson. Looks like he lost about 2, maybe 3 on the play. Smart conservative football. Make the passes easy, keep that clock running, and get into the locker room with a lead. Little surprised Mount Si is not using timeouts. Loss of 3 on the play. Going to bring up 2nd and 23. Give us to Galatly up the middle, where he's met instantly for another loss. We'll see if Mount Si calls a timeout here. And it looks like they will. So Mount Si timeout with just a few seconds left on the clock. Let's see what the referees are doing here. They're going to ask to put some time back on the clock, as the clock had actually ran down.
Official timeout, 10 seconds is being added back to the clock.
Looks like they're going to add 10 seconds back to the clock. And that they will. You're watching Issaquah Eagles football on ICTV, Channel 21. So after the Mount Si timeout, there's going to be 10 seconds put back on the clock. And it's going to be 3rd and about 23 yards for the Eagles. Neary in the shotgun, gives it to Galatly up the middle. Got a nice gain. They didn't start the clock on that play. We'll see what they do here. It's going to be 4th down. I'm not sure if Mount Si is going to call a timeout. They want to run the clock. Let's see what the referees are going to do here.
Yeah, it did look like the clock didn't start on that play. I'm not sure if Issaquah's...
And that's going to do it. It's going to be the end of the first half. That's what they're going to decide here. So at the end of the first half, the Eagles lead 13-7 over the Mount Si Wildcats. You're watching Issaquah Eagles football on Issaquah ICTV, Channel 21. About ready for the second half of play here at beautiful Gary Moore Stadium on the campus of Issaquah High School. I am Rylan Spencer alongside Scott Enyart. And Scott, what do you look for out of the second half?
I think the keys of the game kind of stay the same. It's a really competitive game. It's still anybody's ball game. Mount Si's ran the ball really effectively and got away from it. I want to see if they're able to go back to that, and if Issaquah is able to still maintain their dominance defensively. I've been really impressed with the defensive performance from Issaquah. Experienced secondary, great pass rush. The key is going to be how they're able to defend the run through the second half. On the offensive side of the ball, it's about continuing to feed the ball to Galatly, balance that offense. They're doing a great job of balancing the run and the pass. They need to maintain that. I would like to see them improve a little bit on what they do on first down. They've put themselves in a hole those last couple series where they were in 2nd and long, 2nd and 12s, and those aren't the most ideal situations. If they're able to put themselves in position to gain yards on first down and stay on schedule with the down and distance, it's going to allow them to control the clock and maintain control of this game.
Yeah, I think this first drive here for Issaquah, since they're going to get the ball to start the second half, is one of those ones that's it's almost a key drive. It's one of those ones that could be a turning point in a game that could propel you to a victory.
Absolutely. With the missed extra point, it's a one-score game still, and you want to kind of get that monkey off your back and put a little bit of distance between Issaquah and Mount Si. If they can come out and get any type of score here, it's going to be a great job of carrying that first half momentum into the second half. That being said, Mount Si is a well-coached football team. They're certainly not just going to roll over. They've got a capable quarterback, a great group of receivers, and Takis has been great running the football. I expect a battle in the second half, much like the one we saw in the first half, and it's really anybody's ball game.
Yeah, speaking of well-coached, next week the O'Day Irish come to town. That's a game that you can catch here on ICTV, Channel 21. And their head coach, Monty Kohler, one of the more winning head coaches in state history, will bring what you would assume to be a 2-0 Irish team to town. And for that'll be a big matchup. It's a non-league game, but I think that's a matchup that will really show the Eagles where they're at.
Absolutely. The Eagles have a nice stretch of their schedule here these next 4 weeks, with this game, O'Day, Newport, and Roosevelt, to really find out what they're about. They're off to a great start in this little bit of a murderer's row. Let's see if they can finish it tonight.
Well, both teams are ready. And we are set for the second half. To kick is Sean Loney. And he hits it deep. Back at about his own 6. He fumbles. Looks like Chapman. Flag on the play as he gets it out to about the 21-yard line. Let's see what the penalty's for. Not really a good spot if you're an Eagles fan for a penalty. It actually looked like Chris Eagland on the return, number 6, a senior wide receiver. Referees are going to have a discussion. They're going to walk it off half the distance. It's going to be an illegal block in the back on Issaquah. So it's going to set them up with not the greatest field position to start the second half. They're going to have the ball 1st and 10 at about the 7.5 yard line.
I would look for Issaquah to come out running here. I think they need to get themselves out of this hole a little bit. Hopefully that'll help keep them on schedule with it down and distance like we talked about at the start.
1st and 10. Looks like you got a little bit of a wildcat formation. I think that's Derek Chapman in the backfield. Takes the snap, and he's up the middle. Makes a move, spins, off a tackler, and he's out across the 25-yard line for an Eagles first down.
Again, Chapman's that player who's considered the fastest guy on the team. He's very experienced, 3-year varsity player. Actually, a 3-year varsity starter, 4-year varsity player.
Looked like Neary lined up out at wide receiver on that one. Now Neary's going to go under center. Going to go to an I formation with a receiver to either side. 1st and 10 on about the 26. Handoff is to Galatly up the middle. Powers over Johnson, and he's brought down after a gain of about 4.
Nice run by Galatly. 4 yards in a cloud of dust. Great job by Shea Dingfelder getting some blocks at the second level. That's one thing this Issaquah offensive line does pretty well. When they can get a push, they do a great job of getting to the second level. Dingfelder actually can get up to that third level and block that safety. That run maybe goes for a few more.
So 2nd and 6. Neary in the shotgun, receive with a back to either side. Throws to the left, quick toss out to Tommy Nelson. Breaks off a tackler. He's got another first down and a gain of about 10 yards.
I really like what Nelson brings to the table as a wide receiver. In addition to that UW 7-on-7 tournament that Issaquah won, which Nelson MVP'd, he also was the MVP of BYU's camp this summer, where his older brother Luke is on the Cougar football team. Comes from a family of great athletes. Younger brother Joe's an up-and-comer here in the Issaquah program who they're very excited about. And Tommy brings a lot to the table as a very talented wide receiver.
First down give is to Gladley up the middle. He's got a gain of about 6 on the play, and he'll set up a very manageable second down. Thomas on the stop for the Wildcats.
Much better drive of Issaquah gaining yards on first down, and you can see them moving the ball effectively as a result.
Neary throws into the flat to Gladley. He's met as he catches it by, look like Bailey Takis. I'm going to say no gain, maybe a 1-yard gain on the play. It's going to bring up third down and short.
Big third down here for Issaquah.
Third down and about 3 for the Eagles. Gladley offset to the right. 3 wide receivers right. The give is a Gladley up the middle. And he's got the first down. Keeps his legs moving for a couple extra yards. And into Mount Si territory go the Eagles.
He's just so difficult to bring down. There's not really a back you can compare him to. He's not that big bruiser like Jerome Bettis. But he's fast, and he runs equally as hard. I can't say enough good things about Jack Gladley as a running back. Probably the top running back in the state that doesn't have an offer, I would say.
Yeah, I would say that also right now. It's going to be 1st and 10 at the Wildcat 47. Another give to Gladley off tackle this time, and he's bunched up. It looks like no gain on the play. A little bit of a hurry up here now for the Eagles. Looked like maybe they called 2 plays in the huddle on the last one. Neary, receivers to either side, turns, throws to the right. High throw to Chapman off his hands. Good coverage on the play by number 23 for Mount Si. That would be Mark Farmer, a 6'2", 190 sophomore. So that'll bring up third down and just over 10 yards. Make it a long 10, I guess we'll say. Going to have trips to the right for Neary with Gladley offset to his left. Drops back, looks downfield, has a receiver, but he was looking for Tommy Nelson, and it was broken up on the play by, looked like Farmer again.
Great job of coverage there by Mount Si. Neary tried to force it in there a little bit. Nelson tried to make a play, but no luck. Good job of Mount Si getting off the field after Issaquah Eagles had success early on that drive moving the football.
Yeah, if you're a Mount Si fan, that's got to be a huge, huge third down stop if you get the Eagles to punt here, get the ball back with it being a 1-score game. And that's what it looks like they are going to do. Gladley going to get back and kick it away. Not too many times you see both starting running backs, also the starting punters. Looks like Wyatt Baker going to be back to return the kick. 5'10" senior. He's going to let it bounce. And the Eagles down it just inside the 20.
Really anxious to see what Mount Si comes out with here offensively. As we talked about, they ran the ball successfully in the first half. Got away from it a little bit to stay balanced. And I do know they run to set up the pass. It'd be interesting to see what they come out doing here in the second half. Will they be aggressive or be content with the game being close and just kind of wait and play it out and give themselves a chance at the end?
So it's 1st down and 10 at about the 19-yard line for Mount Si. Mitchell in the shotgun. 2 wide receivers to his left, 1 to the right. Takis in the backfield. Give is to Takis. Runs to his line, keeps his legs moving, bounces it out to the outside, and he's got a gain of about 3. Late flag on the play. Very late flag. Looked like it was maybe after the ball was already down. Let's see what happens here. They're looking over at the Mount Si sideline. Doesn't look good for the Eagles. You would think this is going to be against against Issaquah. It's a dead ball, unsportsmanlike conduct actually against Mount Si on the play. Oh, maybe it was a late hit. Regardless, that's going to back it up inside the 10. Actually, just outside the 10-yard line, it appears.
Yeah, sometimes what happens when you guys try to play to the whistle, they end up playing a little bit past it. It didn't look like there's anything dirty that happened there. Sometimes you just get a little bit of extra activity past the referee's signal.
Either way, it's going to bring up second down and about 20 yards after the penalty. Mitchell is going to go under center this time. Little confusion for the Wildcats right now. We got, looks like Takis in the backfield. Mitchell rolls out to his left. He's looking downfield, plants, throws down the middle, but it's knocked away by Cody Lamarck, a senior linebacker for the Issaquah Eagles. That's going to bring up a long third down. This is not the way you wanted to start if you were the Mount Si after getting that first drive punt from Issaquah.
Yeah, you get a stop to start the second half, and you put yourself in a position where you go 3 and out yourself, back yourself up even further with the penalty, and it's not a great start to the half.
So Mitchell into the shotgun. He's got 2 wide receivers, and he's going to run to his right. He's going to be dragged down. Dragged down on the play by number 54, Jacob Peterson, his 3rd sack of the night.
I'll tell you what, Issaquah was able to get a pretty big victory over Interlake last week without Peterson, but it's clear having him back tonight has been a difference maker for them defensively. 3 sacks at 3 very crucial times in the ball game, and Peterson's just come up huge for that Eagle defense. You can tell why Coach Abila, Eagles defensive coordinator, was so excited to have him back for this game.
Yeah, absolutely. He's played a very good game so far. Takis is going to kick from his own end zone. High kick. And it looked like a fair catch, and then there was a little collision there. Regardless, it was Keegan O'Keefe. And either way, the Eagles are going to get the ball back at the Mount Si 39. So a good punt considering the circumstances, but great field position for the Eagles coming out here.
Yeah, and to be honest, on a play like that where there's a collision and a fair catch, the Eagles are lucky that didn't maybe hit their returner. They were lucky they were able to field the punt. There are a lot of times in situations like that, you see it hit someone from the return team, and you end up not coming up with the ball. So all things being told, despite the collision, you get great field position, you get the football, and you're in scoring position to start the drive.
So it's going to be 1st and 10, just under 8 minutes to play here in the 3rd quarter. Eagles with a 13-7 lead over Mount Si. Neary with a back to either side, 2 receivers to the right, 1 to the left. He's barking, gets the snap, looks to his left, pump fakes. Now he's going to go deep to Tommy Nelson. Ball is just out of play.
Would have been a tough play for Nelson to make regardless. They were well covered. The corner didn't really bite on the fake. Needless to say, I do like the aggressive play call by the Eagles there.
And aggressive it was. That might have been one of their deeper passes of the night. But either way, it's going to set up a 2nd down and 10 situation for the Eagles. Glatley offset to the right. Lamarck goes in motion. Little fake and a handoff to Glatley. Or maybe it was a handoff and a fake. But he runs to the left. Gain of only about 1 yard on the play is going to bring up a 3rd and long situation for the Eagles.
Based on where they're at, we've said it a number of times tonight, these teams keep finding themselves in 4-down territory. So I do think here your play call doesn't need to get all 9 yards. Get 4 or 5. Put yourself in a position where you have a manageable 4th down. No need to get greedy here.
So Neary talking to his lineman, letting him know the play call. He's going to drop back in a shotgun formation with a Galatly to his left. 3 receivers to the right. Neary looking to the right. Throws to the right. A little high for Chapman. On the coverage again is that man, Mark Farmer. That's a big stop there on 3rd down. Let's see what the Eagles want to do here on 4th. Looks like they're going to punt. Galatly's back a little far. You never know. Tommy Nelson, the up back, and they will punt. Galatly standing at about his own 47.5-yard line.
I'm not sure how much a punt really helps you via field position right here. If they're able to pin him inside the 10, then I'll eat my words.
Looks like it's going to be Wyatt Baker back to return. Good kick. Bounces. See if it can stay out of the end zone, and it does not. So it's going to be a touchback. We'll bring it out to about the 20-yard line. .6:58 left to play here in the 3rd quarter. Issaquah leading 13-7. Mount Si going to take over on their own 20 after the touchback. See if Nick Mitchell and the Wildcats can get a little something going here and maybe get back in this game. Right now, everything is kind of stalled for them offensively. Going to go to the I formation here with Takis behind Johnson. The give is to Takis up the middle. Not much of a hole. Really stacked up inside. Going to be a gain of, it looks like, about 2 yards on the play.
I'll tell you what, I can't say enough good things about the offensive line for Mount Si. They've been able to get a really good push. Even though you only get 2-yard gain right there, they are getting movement off the line of scrimmage. I like Schlichting. I like Nordby. I like Christensen. They're all really big guys that are able to get that movement that you want.
It was actually a gain of 3 on the play, so it's going to bring up 2nd down and 7. Another I formation with Takis behind Johnson. Mitchell looks to the right, throws to the right, where he's got, I believe, Trevor Daniels, but the ball is tipped and incomplete. Going to bring up 3rd down. Another 3rd and long situation for the Wildcats. This is not where you wanted to be.
This is one of Coach Abila's keys to the game when we talked to him beforehand, getting off the field on 3rd down. They love to be in these 3rd and long situations. It plays to their strength of their senior secondary. Let's see if they can get off the field here.
So 3rd down and 7. Mitchell under center, offset Johnson. Takis behind him. Mitchell looks to throw. Throws deep down the right sideline. He's got Trevor Daniels, and the ball is caught down to about the Issaquah 40-yard line. Huge pickup for the Mount Si Wildcats on the play.
I really like the play of these Mount Si receivers. They go up and get the ball well. They're not in a group with a lot of varsity starts under their belt, but they did get playing time in last year's blowout, so you can tell they're a well-coached group.
So Mount Si gets into the Issaquah territory for the first time it seems like a while. They go back to the I formation, 1st and 10. Gives to Johnson up the middle. He powers ahead, maybe about 4 yards on the play.
Again, great success with that quick hitter to Johnson. They've gained yards on it every time they've ran that ball.
So just short of 4 yards on the play, but it will bring up a 2nd down and about 6. Coming up on 5 minutes to play here in the 3rd quarter. Mount Si sticks with the I formation. Johnson offset to the left with Takis deep. Give is to Takis. He's got the corner. He's around the corner. Gets down the sideline, and he's knocked out of play at about the 17, 18-yard line is where they're going to spot it. Run out of bounds on the play by Tyrus Tuiasosopo.
If you guys recognize the name Tuiasosopo, it's obviously relative of UW quarterback coach Marcus Tuiasosopo. Zach Tuiasosopo coaching here on the Issaquah staff. The name's very familiar to fans of Northwest football.
Looked like the Wildcats might have got away with a hold out there on the corner, but regardless, they are now down inside the 20 at about the 18, 1st and 10. Sticking with that I formation for the Wildcats. Johnson motions to the right. The give is to Takis. He's up the gut. Looks like he got about 4 yards on the play. 4 yards on the play. 3 yards. And that'll bring up a second down and about 7.
Great job again from that Mount Si offensive line getting a push.
Issaquah sending Dingfelder in, maybe going to try to get a little more beef inside to stop that running game. Second down and 7 for Mount Si. Mitchell under center. He drops back, 3-step, pumps. Big block in the backfield by Evan Johnson, but Mitchell's going to be brought down again by number 54, Jacob Peterson.
That's sack number 4 for Peterson on the night. If they credit that as a sack, I'm not sure.
That one could be a loss of yards just on the run.
Exactly. So it depends on how they credit that. Either way, it's a tackle for a loss.
Big hit by Evan Johnson on that play. On sophomore Connor Smith, but Smith looks like he's all right. Tough character, get right back in there.
It's the kind of guys you want on your defensive line.
So it's going to be 3rd down and 8. Let's see if the Eagles can get off the field here. I formation. Mitchell sends Johnson in motion. The give is to Takis. Going left. Stops up, and he's tackled by a host of Eagles led by number 17, Keegan O'Keefe.
Interesting here, you're seeing Mount Si attack the perimeter a little bit more. Early on in the game, they focused their run kind of in the middle of the line of scrimmage. Takis had the big run outside earlier in this drive, and it looks like they went back to the same play here, but Eagles were ready for it this time.
We're going to have a timeout on the field. It's a 4th and 5 for Mount Si, and they're going to call a timeout. You're watching Issaquah Eagles football on ICTV, Channel 21. So it's going to be 4th down for the Wildcats, 4th down and about 5, and it looks like they're going to go for it here, down 13-7 with 3 minutes and 7 seconds left in the 3rd quarter. Eagles fans making some noise. It's a power formation here, 2 tight ends. Mitchell fakes the handoff, throws, and he's got a receiver for the touchdown.
That's a play that Mount Si set up, rolling Mitchell out a number of times tonight, having him look towards where his rollout is, this time coming back across the field, finding a receiver for the touchdown. Great throw by Nick Mitchell, who's one of the top quarterbacks in the state, and here you see why, being able to throw back across the field.
The completion was to Bo Shane, a 6'2", 212-pound senior. Now lining up to kick is going to be Sean Loney. Snap is good. The kick is good. And we have a 1-point ball game for the Mount Si Wildcats. With 2:59 left in the 3rd quarter, you're watching ICTV, Channel 21. So we got a ball game here, folks. 14-13, Mount Si now with the lead with 2:59 left to play in the third quarter. Sean Loney is going to kick off for the Wildcats. Back deep to receive is Derek Chapman and Chris Anglin. Kick is deep. Looks like it's going to be Anglin on the catch from about his own 7. He's straight up the middle. He's got a lane. He's only got the kicker to beat. Anglin down the right sideline. He could go. 20, 15, 10, 5. Touchdown, Derek Chapman.
What a response by Issaquah to surrender the lead on that last drive and then come back and respond with a big score on special teams. Chapman, one of the fastest players on the field, but it looks like it may be coming back due to a flag.
Yeah, there's a flag down at about the 35 or 40 yard line of Mount Si. Let's see what they're going to call here. Great return by Chapman. He found the seam and just hit the hole. Looks like the flag is going to be against Mount Si, so we do have an Eagle touchdown.
Now the question becomes, if you're Issaquah, do you chase the mixed extra point, or do you go ahead and just go for one here?
Not sure what the call was, but Mount Si head coach Charlie Canoon is not happy, and it looks like they're going to kick the extra point.
I agree with this decision here. I think it is too early to chase points. A lot of times you see that in high school football where coaches find themselves getting caught up doing that score after score, and it ends up biting them.
So Shipley's going to be on to hold. And Jason Schwartz is going to come on to kick. Little delay here. They're setting up the referees underneath the goalpost.
I'm sure the Issaquah defense doesn't mind the delay, as they were hoping to get a little more rest that drive.
Snap is good. The hold is good. Almost blocked, but the kick is good. So with 2 minutes and 45 seconds left to play, the score is now Issaquah 20, Mount Si 14. You're watching Issaquah Eagles football on ICTV Channel 21. Back out in front now. Jason Schwartz on to kick off. Back to receive. It looks like Wyatt Baker and I believe Jake Smith for the Wildcats. That kick return definitely infused the Eagles supporting staff here on the sides. Little squib kick picked up by, I believe, Johnson. Looked like Evan Johnson on the return. He brings it out to about the 37-yard line. So let's see if the Eagles defense can stand tough here and hold that lead now. 2 minutes and 41 seconds left, third quarter. The stands are rocking here at Gary Moore Stadium.
Absolutely right, Adam. That kickoff return really infused the home sideline here.
Mitchell under center. Shane goes in motion. Two receivers to the left. Takis in the backfield. The give is to Takis. Tries to get outside. Galatly's there to stack him up. Look like Galatly, Andrew Deacon, and Matt Sarkosian on the tackle.
Sarkozy is a young player who gained a lot of experience last week for the relatively inexperienced linebacking core. for Issaquah. He's a player who is going to need to step up if Issaquah is going to be successful defensively this year. And so far, we've called his name a few times tonight, and I think he's having a pretty solid game.
Yeah, absolutely. So that will bring up 2nd down and 7 for Mount Si. Mitchell looks to the right, throws quickly, and he's got a catch. I believe that's Trevor Daniels. No, that's actually going to be, I think it's going to be Parker Dumas on the reception, and a Mount Si first down into Issaquah territory.
You're seeing the success that Mount Si's had in the run game really start to open up the passing attack for them. Right now they've got Issaquah on their heels defensively. They're being very balanced offensively, and they're having success running and passing whenever they need to.
Shipley loses his helmet on the play and is going to have to come sit out for just one play. It's the new rule instituted last year, I believe. 2 receivers to the left. Mitchell throws a little screen out into the flat. It's caught, but only able to get about 1, maybe 2 yards on the play. Looked like number 80 for Mount Si, Jack Nelson on the reception. And that's going to bring up a long 2nd down.
Great open field tackle here. That play, when it was initially caught, looked like it was going to be able to be a big gain for Mount Si, but the Eagles defense does a great job closing that space and bringing him down for a short gain.
2 receivers to the right, 1 to the left. Mitchell drops back, looks right. Looks like maybe a little bit of a broken play, but that ball looked like it was caught, and it was caught. Getting up limping is Trevor Daniels after a play for about 10 yards and another first down.
Daniels is very aggressive to the ball. He's had to go up for a number of catches. You see him here climb the ladder for this one. Mitchell puts enough air under it, lets his receiver go up and get it. He amazingly comes down with the catch. Well covered, too.
So it's going to be 1st and 10 at the Issaquah 30 for Mount Si. I formation. The give is to Takis. Tries to get around the outside. Can't do it. Stopped in the backfield by Andrew Deacon.
Stop freaking Paul Deacon. He's had a heck of a second half. Making another play here. I believe it's a 2nd or 3rd tackle on this drive alone.
Look like Sarkozy and Dingfeld are also in on the stop. That'll bring up another long 2nd down for Mount Si. And that's going to bring us to the end of the 3rd quarter of play. So as we head to the 4th, Issaquah leads 20-14. You're watching Issaquah Eagles football on ICTV, Channel 21. We start the 4th quarter. Issaquah's got a 6-point lead. I believe they might have the chains set up wrong on the far side of the field. It should be 2nd and 11. They have it set up to 2nd and 1. The referees are talking. I think looks like they're, yeah, and they are. They're going to move the chains to the correct position. That'll happen on occasions when you're trying to flip a field over. Regardless, looks like Mount Si is going to go with an empty backfield. 3 receivers to the right, 2 to the left of Mitchell. And here we go. 12 minutes left to go in the ball game. Mitchell under center, takes a snap, 3-step drop, looks over the middle. He's got a receiver, and he is blasted at about the 4. Looked like it was Jack Nelson on the play. A 5'9", 155-pound senior receiver for Mount Si.
Mitchell really had all day to throw back there, wasn't pressured at all. Tommy Nelson with a touchdown-saving tackle, but looks to be a little bit banged up on the play. Heck of a hit to save the score, though, by Nelson.
So it's going to make it 1st and goal at about the 3-yard line for Mount Si, trailing by 6. Just into the 4th quarter. The give is to Ivan Johnson up the middle. He's stacked up. Doesn't look like he got much. Might have got back to the line of scrimmage. And maybe a few inches.
taken down by 52.
This is very classic Charlie Canoon offense right here. Get down inside the 5 to 10 yard line, and they like to run the ball up the middle. They feel like with their big men they can move the ball on just about anybody.
If Issaquah is able to hold Mount Si to a field goal here, that would certainly be a moral victory defensively, and would obviously still keep them in control of the game, holding a lead.
We're going to go to single back formation. 2 receivers to the right. Bo Shane, the tight end, is also on the right side. Mitchell drops back. Now he runs. Looked like a little bit of a quarterback delay. Don't know if he got anything. I know he got back to the line. Maybe got a yard. Looks like they're going to give him 2 yards. Going to put the ball at about the 1.5.
Mitchell on the keeper. Up the middle.
Yeah,
Big player.
looked like he just slid over to the B gap. Wasn't really didn't have a lead blocker. Looked like he was setting up like he was going to drop. Not quite a draw. Take the pitch and hit the hole.
It's going to bring up a big 3rd down here for Issaquah.
3rd goal on the 1 yard line.
On the 1 yard line, see if they can get a goal line stand. I formation broken to the right. Mitchell under center. He's going to roll right. He's looking, throws to the back of the end zone, and he's got a catch. Looks like Bo Shane.
Huge catch by Shane there. That was a player that the Eagles were worried about defensively. We're going to need to keep an eye on where he was at all night long. He's a very versatile player. He usually lines up at the tight end position. Looks like not able to get pressure on Mitchell. And he's able to find Shane in the back of the end zone. Great response by the Wildcats.
See if they can take that 1-point lead here with the PAT. The snap is down. And the kick is good. So with 9:54 left to play, Mount Si takes the lead at 21-20. And on that drive, the receiving corps really did a number for the Wildcats, and they're coached by a name we all might recognize in Chris Moore.
Yeah, Chris Moore is the son of legendary Issaquah coach Gary Moore, who the Eagles Stadium is named after. In fact, there's 4 former players for Gary Moore on the Mount Si staff, and talking to them before the game. They were very excited to be back here to play in the stadium that they all graduated from, but also that their former head coach was named after.
Yeah, we went down early to talk to the coaches, and they were all huddled over over by the scoreboard where the sign says Gary Moore Stadium. You're actually just looking at it there, and they were all getting their picture taken in front of it. It's kind of a symbolic moment for them.
Yeah, really special for Chris Moore to be back here playing at the stadium named after his late father, and for his group that he coaches, the Mount Si receivers, to be having such a huge game and really being a big part of why the Wildcats have been able to take a lead.
So now with the lead, Sean Loney will kick off again. He's going to come at it straight on. Let's see if he does a little squibber. He doesn't. He kicks it deep this time. Looks like it's going to be England from about his own 7. Tries to run left. He's gobbled up at about the 24-yard line. Late flag on the play. See what this one's for. Referee's talking it over. It's going to be a face mask. Face masking call on the Mount Si Wildcats will give the Eagles much better field position than they were going to start with. Just under 10 minutes to play here in the 4th quarter. Eagles trailing by 1. See if we can see the face mask here. Oh, yeah, there it is right there.
Yep, inadvertent. It's still a 5-yard penalty for inadvertent face mask in high school football.
Give up the middle to Gallatley. Not much going on the play, but he makes a little more out of it. But he's got a gain of about maybe 5 yards on the play. Referee blowing the whistle. Do we have a flag? The Issaquah offense is clapping. They're motioning that it's on, and it is. It's a personal foul. Another face mask. So back-to-back face masks And that was a personal foul one, so that's going to be 15 yards.
Couldn't ask for a better start to the drive for Issaquah. Get a few extra yards on the kickoff return aided by penalty, and a few extra yards on first down aided by penalty, and now they find themselves near midfield. Let's see if they can move the ball together and gain some yards of their own rather than by the aid of the Mount Si defense.
So it's going to be 1st and 10 at the Issaquah 48-yard line. Neary in the shotgun. He's got Gallatley to his left. Neary's going to roll a little to his left, throws out into the flat, finds Tommy Nelson downfield. Another catch for Tommy Nelson, and he's out of bounds at about the 39-yard line.
That's a huge completion for Neary. He had a couple incompletions the last drive and was really out of rhythm after a really good first half. To get this completion to Nelson, who also is great to see back after being banged up on the last series, it's a good sign for the Issaquah offense.
So inside Mount Si territory now. Neary with 3 receivers to his right. Looks to the right, throws a little screen. Caught by Derek Chapman. No, they're going to say it was incomplete. Wasn't going to gain any yards as he was already on the ground, but almost lucky for Issaquah to not lose a yard or two. That's going to bring up 2nd and 10 for Issaquah. Going to have 2 receivers to either side. Gallatley going to be offset to the right of Neary. Takes the snap. Good protection. Throws deep down the sideline. He's got Tommy Nelson in and out of his hands. For sure, touchdown. Tommy Nelson could not hold on, and that'll bring up a long 3rd down for Issaquah.
That's a tough break for the Eagles. It's an uncharacteristic play by Nelson. You don't see them take a lot of shots downfield. Gets a lot of time to throw here. Throws a nice ball. Nelson just unfortunately not able to haul it in.
3rd down. He finds a receiver, makes a move. Derek Chapman. Does he have enough for a 1st down? It's going to be very close. Chapman is just to about the 29-yard line. He's going to need all of it to get the 1st down. Let's see what the referee says here. And he got it, a 1st down. Great play by Derek Chapman to make a move and get another 2, maybe 3 yards.
Yeah, again, great job of protection here by the Issaquah offensive line.
It's going to be a hurry-up offense here. Going to give it to Gallatley up the middle. He's got a seam. Breaks it through. Might have another 1st down. But there is a flag on the play. In the spot that's usually holding, let's see. And it is a hold. So a great offensive drive right now just gets stalled on a holding call. So that's going to make it 2nd down and a long, it's going to be about 20 yards for the Eagles. 8:35 left to play now. Down by 1. 3 receivers to the right. Tommy Nelson, the receiver, to the left. Gallatley offset to his left. Neary takes the shotgun snap, looks to the left, pump fakes. Now he moves a little, and he's going to be brought down behind the line for a sack.
Right now you've got the Eagles moving the wrong way. Penalty on the last play, a sack on this one, and they put themselves in a pretty big hole here back near midfield.
Looked like Ryan Finley on the sack for Mount Si, number 78, a 6'2", 245 junior.
Just came in unblocked. Really good job. Credit to the Mount Si defense for putting pressure on. They brought extra guys from the linebacking level.
So now it's going to be 2nd and 20. Same formation. Fake to Gallatley. Looks down the middle. He's got Shipley, who makes a nice catch and slides down. They're going to mark it down at about the 28-yard line, making a much more manageable 3rd down. It's a 13-yard gain on the play. Going to have Gallatley offset to the left with 3 receivers to the right. Neary rumbles a little bit, and it looks like he's going to be brought down again. Yes, he is. Big sack for the Mount Si defense. As number 79, Jack Nordby, a 6'4", 305 senior, brings him down.
Yep, Norby, another one of those two-way linemen for the Wildcats, getting it done on both sides of the ball tonight. Real unfortunate there for Neary, who's been relatively untouched all night, to surrender the sacks on 2 sacks in 3 plays.
That's going to bring up a long 4th down. Looks like it's going to be about 4th down and I think it's about 15, 16, maybe 17 yards. And it looks like they're going to go for it. Empty backfield. Shotgun for Neary. Galatly and Nelson to his left. Drops back. Gets some time. Throws deep down the sideline. He's got Tommy Nelson again. And he can't make the play, but there's a flag. Might be pass interference.
Gutsy call by Issaquah to go for it on 4th and long. Nelson unable to come up with a catch, but Eagles may have caught a break here on a pass interference call.
And he was definitely being held, that's for sure. It looked like Mark Farmer was holding him. Let's see what they call. The referee's talking it over. They're going to ask the Issaquah captains. See what they're going to do here. So it is going to be pass interference on the defense. It's going to be a 15-yard penalty, and it's still going to be 4th down.
Yeah, in high school football, you don't get the automatic first down, so that hole that the Eagles found themselves in will put them in a difficult spot, unable to get the first down on the pass interference penalty, but a much more manageable 4th down now.
So 4th down and 2. 3 receivers to the right. Galatly, offset right from Jack Neary. Snap, not good. Neary is brought down. There is a flag on the play. We'll see what the flag's for. I'm not really sure. Intentional groundings is going to be called. That's an automatic loss of down and gives Mount Si the ball with 6:33 left to play and a 1-point lead.
Unfortunate turn of events and breakdown in pass protection for the Issaquah offensive line that series. Still plenty of time left. If they're able to get a stop here, give them a chance to win this game.
So after the 5-yard penalty, the ball is going to be marked at the 36-yard line, where Mount Si will take over. Just a real unfortunate turn for what looked like a promising Issaquah drive right there.
Credit, however, to Mount Si's defense stepping up, putting pressure that they haven't shown all game. Sign of a well-coached team and a really seasoned team.
Now Mitchell's going to go under center. Johnson moves in motion. The give is to Bailey Takis going left. He's met in the backfield by Paul O'Neill and then brought down by, looked like Galatly was in the area, along with number 54, Jacob Peterson.
Great job by O'Neill to get into the backfield and make a play. He's a guy that had a great offseason, got hurt coming out of spring, and has bounced back really, really well. Could be a huge factor for Issaquah if he's able to stay healthy this year.
Gain of about 1 yard on the play. So it's going to be 2nd down and about 9, long 9, I'll say. Mitchell under center. Johnson offset to the right. Takis behind. Mitchell 3-step drop, throws to the right. And a little miscommunication by the receiver on this side. That was, looks like Trevor Daniels, a 6'1", 170 senior.
More importantly, that stops the clock for Issaquah, giving them a 3rd and long and a chance to get the ball back with enough time to operate offensively should they get the stop here.
Bit of a questionable play call there if you're Mount Si. You'd think that they'd want to maybe run a little more time off the clock. Either way, it's going to be 3rd down and about 9 yards for Mount Si. Daniels comes to the far side again. Bailey Takis in the backfield with Johnson offset. Mitchell's going to back, and he's going to throw again. And he's looking around, and he's going to be brought down behind the line. Andrew Deacon and Jacob Peterson combined for the sack, and that brings up a long 4th down.
Can't say enough good things about these bookends for Issaquah, Deacon and Peterson. They're going to give quarterbacks fits this year in Kingco play. Great job of getting pressure in a crucial situation on Mitchell. Mitchell, really a bad decision there not to just get rid of it. Instead, he runs backwards, takes even greater loss of yards, and Issaquah's going to get the ball back with a chance to win this football game.
Takis moves a little to his right, boots the ball downfield. Good kick. Caught by... Looked like it was caught by Keegan O'Keefe at about his own 40. Not much of a gain on the play. No real return, but that gives the Eagles good field position to start going the other way. Just under 5 minutes left to play here in the fourth quarter. Issaquah down 21-20 to Mount Si. They're going to get the ball on their own 41 at the left hash. You almost feel like this is something where they got to go down and get some points on this drive.
Absolutely. This is what they need to do. If they're able to control the clock here, finish out the quarter strong, and come away with points, they're going to win this football game.
Empty formation now. Empty backfield, sorry. Throws to Tommy Nelson. There's a penalty flag on the play. It might be for a late hit on the quarterback. There could be a hold. Let's see what the official calls here. He is calling a hold. He signals a hold on number 55, Andrew Deacon. So just when you think they got maybe a little momentum going here, the hold backs them up.
Yeah, real unfortunate turn of events here at the end of this game for Issaquah. Breakdowns in pass protection, unfortunate penalties. Needless to say, they've gotten out of holes on first down a number of times this game. Certainly not anything they're not going to be able to do here.
Two receivers to each side. Referees having a little discussion here. Want to wind the clock is what they're going to do. Gallatley offset to Neary's left. Neary takes the snap. The give is to Gallatley up the middle. He finds a hole. But a host of Wildcats bring him down, led by, looked like, number 21, Trevor Daniels. A name we've heard a lot tonight.
With the way the Wildcats have been getting pressure these past couple series, I'd love to see Issaquah go to a screen pass here. Maybe slow down that rush, sneak Gallatley in behind them, and force the defense to be a little more honest.
Picked off. Looked like Bo Shane at about his own 25, maybe the 30, brought down inside the 15-yard line. And with 3 minutes and 54 seconds left to play, the Mount Si Wildcats have great field position.
Yeah, and that one stings. Just an unfortunate decision by Neary there. Throw it into coverage. I don't think he saw the linebacker sitting there or thought maybe the linebacker was going to bite on another route coming across the field. Shane makes the play, and you're going to need a big stop here by the Issaquah defense to give the Eagles a chance if they're going to win this football game.
So the ball is spotted at the 14 on the left hash. It's going to be 1st and 10 for Mount Si, leading by 1 with just under 4 minutes left to play in the fourth quarter. Mitchell, we actually have, it's going to be a false start, I believe, and it is a false start on Mount Si. Looked like their left guard was moving a little early. So maybe a little something to get the Eagles going again. So now it's 1st and 15 from the 19. Mitchell under center. The give is up the middle to, I believe, Evan Johnson.
Smart call here by Mount Si. They're already in field goal position to start the drive. No need to stop the clock with incompletions. Just run the ball. If you can get into the end zone, great. If not, keep the time off the clock.
It actually looked like Drew Cotto on the carry, a 5'9", 190-pound senior from a long line of Cottos. There's actually 3 brothers, another younger one on the team now, and one that actually graduated last year as well. So that'll bring up 2nd down and 10. The give is to Takis. Up the middle. Looks like he's got a gain of about 7 on the play. Whistle blows. Referee waves his arms to stop the clock. Looks like we got a penalty on the play. It's going to be a hold on the offense. So for every step forward, they're taking 2 back right now for Mount Si.
Well, and for every step they take back, it gives a little life to Issaquah in terms of the chances they have left to win this football game.
It's going to back them up to about their 26-yard line, it appears, and make for a long 2nd down. It's going to make it about 2nd down and 21. Clock running just under 3 minutes to play, I'm sorry. Empty backfield for Mitchell on 2nd down. Drops back, looks left. He's got a receiver, and he dropped it.
And that'll stop the clock. Again, Issaquah managing to keep hope alive here late in the game.
Bailey Takis could not hold on, playing a little receiver in the empty set.
And he's a kid who's made plays all night. Unfortunately, not able to come up with one there. Great decision by Nick Mitchell. The play was there to be made. Takis just wasn't able to hold on.
It looked like maybe number 32, Cody Lamarck, might have got a hand in there to deflect that pass at the last second. Either way, it's now 3rd down and a very long 20, maybe 21 yards. Another empty formation. Mitchell's going to take it in the shotgun this time. Drops back. It's a draw. Good play call. He's got a blocker. He might have the end zone. He does. Nick Mitchell in from 26 yards out. And the Mount Si Wildcats now lead 27-20 with 2 minutes and 27 seconds left to play.
Unbelievable play by Mount Si offensively there. We talked about early in the game, Nick Mitchell's not really known as a dual threat, but for him to be able to keep the football, he's mobile enough to make a play, scores on a draw.
Great blocking on the outside by the wide receiver there. I believe that was Trevor Daniels blocking on Derek Chapman. And Nick Mitchell just dances into the end zone, points to somebody.
I think he was even surprised he scored there, it looked like. What an unfortunate turn of events.
The snap
for
is
the
down, the
Eagles.
kick is up, and the kick is good. So with 2:27 left to play, it is now Mount Si 28 and Issaquah 20. You're watching Issaquah Eagles football on ICTV, Channel 21. So it's gut check time here for the Eagles. Down by 8 with just over 2 minutes left to play. To kick off is going to be Sean Loney. Back to receive again. They're going to be Chapman, who's deep. And just in front of him is Chris Eglin for Issaquah.
Should note, Issaquah is still very much in this game. It's going to be a tough mountain to climb back from, but a touchdown and a 2-point conversion, and they're playing for overtime.
They squib it. Up, guys, let it go. It's Eglin. Oh, and he's blasted. He is blasted about his own 25. And we've got a late flag on the play. Comes in from the side judge. Let's see what this call is.
A lot of laundry in the second half. Both teams penalized pretty often after a relatively clean first half, penalty-wise.
Referee's talking it over. Right now, the ball will be spotted at, looks like the 26. Let's see what the penalty does. They're going to wave it off. Not sure what the original call would have been from that spot. Maybe a block in the back, but I think the play was already over. So they're going to have to go 74 yards now in 2 minutes and 24 seconds and get a 2-point conversion to tie this ball game. It's going to be an empty backfield with Neary having 3 receivers to the right, 2 to the left. He drops back, looks long, throwing to Tommy Nelson, and he goes up and can't get it. Great coverage on the play by Trevor Daniels, the safety, and number 23, Mark Farmer.
A lot of respect the Mount Si defense has been showing to Nelson. He's been bracketed with a safety all night, relatively double covered. Unable to come up with a play there, but great job by the Mount Si defense, and nice job by the Issaquah offensive line to give Neary time for the deep throw.
Not sure if Nelson is banged up on the play. Regardless, he goes to the sideline, and in comes Keegan O'Keefe, a junior wide receiver who we've seen return punts most of the night. 3 receivers to the right, 2 to the left. A couple little screen here. And it looks like Chris Eagland has got a great play, and he's gained about 25 yards. 21 yards, and he's up to about the 46-yard line.
Yeah, and that's a play I was calling for last series with the pressure that Mount Si had been able to generate. I thought a screen pass was there. Issaquah goes to it, and they're able to get a big gain. And hopefully that'll slow down the Wildcat pass rush a little bit and give Neary time to operate.
So we're now at 2 minutes left. Neary, 3 receivers to the right, 2 to the left again. Drops back, looks left. Now he's going to step up, making a little bit of a move, going to gain a few yards. And then he fumbles. Looks like it's recovered by Mount Si, and the referee says it is.
Yeah, not sure what happened. Neary was wrapped up. Maybe he thought the refs were just going to rule him down. Unfortunate turn of events here for the Eagles.
Wildcats recover and for a fumble.
See Neary here making the most out of a bad situation. Just spun around, the ball comes out.
Great play by Evan Johnson to strip the ball from Neary. Not sure who that is underneath. Looks like maybe Bo Shane down there to recover it. Not something you can have at this point in the ball game. And Mount Si is now going to take over at the 48-yard line. 1st and 10 with a minute 41 left to play. And it looks like we're going to have a timeout on the field. Mount Si, I believe, is going to take a timeout. Make sure they're all on the same page. You absolutely cannot have any mistakes from here on out if you're Mount Si. You just got to run the ball, run some clock, and get out of here with a W. Back to play here. Minute 41 left to go, 4th quarter. Mount Si leading 28-20. Issaquah does have all 3 timeouts left, so if they can get a couple of stops here, they might be able to get the ball back with a little over a minute left to play. Mitchell under center with an I formation. Johnson in front of Takis. The give is to Takis up the middle. And it looks like he's got a gain of about 2 yards. And like clockwork, Issaquah's going to call a timeout. Timeout Issaquah. So a minute 36 left to play in the fourth. Issaquah is going to have to come up with 2 more stops and get a couple of timeouts, get that ball back, drive down, get a touchdown and a 2-point conversion to potentially send this game into overtime. We'll see what they do here. Mount Si is going to go with a single back formation, 2 receivers to the left. One is Johnson, who now motions across the formation. And it's going to be a give to Takis. Gets around the side, and he's brought down by Keegan O'Keefe at about the 44-yard line, and another Issaquah timeout. Stops the clock with about a $1:36 left to play. And that'll be a 3rd down, and it looks like about 5. Right now, Issaquah's doing everything they can to just keep them from a 1st down, get a couple more stops here, and get that ball back. And as long as you got time on the clock, you can still win a football game. So as we get back to play, minute 30 left. Going to be an I formation this time with tight end Bo Shane on the line to the right. Johnson in front of Takis, 3rd down and about 5. Give is to Takis. And he may have a 1st down. Very close to a 1st down. Looks like the referees are stopping the clock. Let's see what they're going to do here. It is going to be a 4th down. And Issaquah is going to call another timeout. It's going to be 4th down and a little less than 1. This is actually an interesting situation here.
I think if you're Mount Si, I'd elect to punt it here on the off chance you don't convert this 4th down. You're giving the ball to Issaquah in pretty good field position. You're smarter just to punt it. That's going to take some time off the clock, maybe a difficult punt to field, but more importantly, you're giving Issaquah longer field to work with, knowing that they have no timeouts now after taking this one here. Needless to say, it'll be an interesting situation and interesting to see what the Wildcats decide to do coming out of this timeout.
Charlie Canoon is a guy that's known for going for it on 4th down, having a little try of his luck, if you might. Let's see what they're going to do here. It looks like they're going to go for it. They might just try to draw the defense offside. Either way, Mitchell's under center with Johnson behind him and Takis behind that. 3rd and less than 1. Let's see what they do here. It's a give to Takis. He's through. Does he have a 1st down?
It's going to depend on the spot.
We'll see where they spot it. It looks like he has a 1st down. Where the referee is right now, it is a 1st down. So 1st down, Mount Si. Issaquah is all out of timeouts, and this should lead to a victory formation from the Wildcats.
You have a player down on the field for the Eagles.
Looks like Tommy Nelson's battling cramps. He has been battling cramps a little bit here and there most of the night.
Yeah, it's been a really hot week here in the Northwest, unseasonably. A lot of kids had to battle pretty hard to stay hydrated. Looks like maybe the hydration got the better of Tommy tonight. Expecting to bounce back and be fine next week.
Yeah, it's oddly humid here tonight, even though it has gotten a little chillier as the night has gone on. Being in the foothills of the Cascades here, just behind Tiger Mountain. So with a minute 15 left to play, it'll be 1st down Mount Si at about the 42-yard line, 42 and a half, we'll say. Be sure to join us next week as the O'Day Irish come to town with their quarterback Pierre Ladors and big-time prospect, D1 prospect. Running back Miles Gaskin will be in town. It's a guy that ran for 200 yards in 1/2 last week. The Wildcats in the victory formation. It'll be a nice 15, 20-minute bus ride home for the Wildcats. We're going to start the season 2-0 with a big matchup against Juanita next week.
Got to say, I'm pretty impressed with Issaquah tonight. Despite coming up on the wrong side of the win-loss column, they played a ranked Mount Si team very tough, kept the score close. Unfortunately, they were done in by their own mistakes. A few turnovers early, a few penalties and sacks late. If they're able to clean that up, it's going to be a very good football team and one that could definitely make some noise in KingCo.
Well, that's just about going to do it. Under 10 seconds here now. The Issaquah Eagles move to 1-1 on the season before conference play has even started yet, so not much to really be concerned about. But Mount Si goes to 2-0, and that's a ball game. I'm Rylan Spencer along with Scott Enyart. You're watching Issaquah Eagles football on ICTV, Channel 21.